In the studio, Steve and I, and we have with us today Ben Hewson, all the way from Horsham. Welcome, Ben.
Hello.
Let me just put your... that one, that's the... Right, we just get the sliders up so we can hear what you're saying. Welcome, Ben. Ben is from Horsham Rotary Club, Link. And he's going to tell us what that's all about. Now, a traditional Rotary Club, from when they were formed back in 1905, I think it was. They've met once a week, lunchtime, traditionally at lunchtime, but increasingly for the last 30 or 40 years in the evenings, and some breakfast clubs as well. Once a week, having a meal, having a speaker, having a business meeting once a month, and having council meetings, committee meetings, doing good works in the community and internationally. That's a sort of a nutshell type definition of what a Rotary Club is. And everybody has good fun, or they should do, doing those things: eating, drinking, doing good works, raising funds, doing things. Now, because of the changes in society over the last probably 20, 30, 40 years, Rotary have decided, this is not just somebody up on high, but the membership decided we've actually got to change in the way that we run our Rotary clubs, and we run Rotary for the benefit to do the things that we have been done in the past, but so it can really benefit the people who increasingly younger coming into the movement, so they can cope with the changes in society and the lifestyle. Do you think that's a sort of a fair starter as where we're sort of going from, Ben, or what do you think?
Yes, no, we at Rotary as a whole appreciate that life is finite and nobody is around forever, so we need to be able to dream up a scenario where we can bring forward younger members.
Yeah. Right, now you call yourself Link, L-I-N-C. What does that stand for?
Well, originally when we thought of the name, it stood for Local, International, National and Community. But we do change it to suit whatever event we're doing. Right. So it is primarily local, international, national and community, but it can be whatever you want it to be.
Want it to be, as long as it's L-I-N-C.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you have some fun with that. So what the Link group is, in fact, it's a separate grouping in Horsham, but it's still part of the Horsham Rotary. Yep. Very
much so, yes. It is very much... The Rotary Club of Horsham is one group with multi-lifestyle elements to it. So the club itself joins in with Link activities, and Link joins in with club activities. We all go to the same Christmas do's and the President's Nights and things like that. But the way that the Link group meet is different, and it's designed to suit a younger lifestyle with the rigours of a young family.
And how do you get on with the members in the Rotary Club? I mean, I know a number of them, not well, but they're slightly older, more traditional, a bit like me, I suppose. How do you get on with them and interact?
There are some that are a bit confused by Link. They don't quite get the only meet once a month. But on the whole, I think it's well received. There's always, it's a friendly club. Horsham is a friendly club. There's always a lot that go on, and there's activities that both parts join in with. So on the whole, well received, and whenever the Link go to a Thursday meeting, they're welcome and warmly
embraced.
That's the word.
That's the word. So, I mean, do you actually attend many of the main Rotary Club meetings at all? I mean, albeit on an informal basis, or let's toddle along and see them this week.
Well, me personally, I go to most of them, if not all of them, as my work will allow me to. So at least 90% I'll go to. Other members will come along, particularly if there's a good speaker. And if the open evenings, we'll always go along to those, and generally as often as they can.
Sure.
We did initially try to do our meetings on the same Thursday so that we could meet up, but we couldn't, because we need to do our planning, the format, the dinner, the speaker, meant that we didn't actually have any time to do any planning, so we had to do that. But no, we do. We go. The members go along as often as possible.
Yeah, yeah. Do you find any of the Rotary members from? I'm going to have to get this sort of nailed down in terms of his wording, but from the main Rotary club, do many of the members come along to your link meetings, for example?
No, but that's because we're quite sporadic, and we don't all meet at the same time every month. So we will have a meeting. Okay, I can't meet that on Monday because I've got a parents' evening. Oh, someone else can't because I've got a school play. So because of the varying nature of how we meet up, it makes it a bit difficult to plan ahead. They're more than welcome to come along.
So you don't have a fixed time and you don't have a fixed venue?
Absolutely.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Yeah.
I guess it sits well with the younger working professional who's got to juggle family life, work life, and still want to give something back to the community.
Absolutely.
And listen, if it works well, it works well, isn't it?
It does, yeah.
Who are we to say yes or no? Yeah.
We have a monthly meeting, and we have a fixed date in the diary, but that is flexible. So if we've set a fixed date for the whole of next year. But as the year evolves and school and holidays and things like that, that can move. And it might be that we can move it within a week of the meeting time. So it's very flexible. That's the key to it. It's flexibility. When we have an event, we will meet as and when required. Now, if we've got 2 or 3 small events, it might be 2 or 3 meetings in 1 week, but it'll be 2 or 3 people who are key to that event getting together in someone's house or having a meal, going to the pub and discussing what they need to do to make sure that event that happens.
Well, we do the same, don't we? I mean, we have, most functions or events, whatever they might, usually have 1, 2, possibly 3 key people, although there's often a lot of other people involved, and they meet as and when, don't they?
Yeah.
In the pub?
That's right, yes.
At home?
Like we do for our show.
Yeah, that's right. We always meet 2 minutes before we start and get it all. Yeah, that's fine. So that's not too much different. Let's talk about your sort of the membership. How many members have you got, and what the ranges and backgrounds and jobs, etc.?
We have between 10 and 12. We've got a couple of new members just starting.
Yeah.
They range. I'm actually the oldest. I'm 45, but the youngest is 31. Mm-hmm. We all have children. We all work either in the town, Horsham town, or commute into London, which is another factor for the flexibility, the trains being what they are. Everybody is busy, but everybody wants to do something to help either the community or the wider community, on a national and international basis.
And what sort of range of occupations do you have?
Just about everything. We've got something from school bursars, estate agents, teachers, insurance brokers, accountants,
a good
everything.
Mix.
Absolutely everything, yeah.
I suppose they all individually bring something unique to the table when you're trying to do something.
Yeah. Oh, yes. There's a whole range of experience that really does come to the fore.
Excellent.
Now, it says here in our notes here that you use social media a lot. I mean, we think that's great because we do as well. But how do you use... Well, I'm interested to know, and I'm sure Steve is as well. How do you use social media, apart from just perhaps as a notice board, or maybe just that?
Well, no, we have...
Okay.
We view it quite as 2 things. So the traditional social media, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, all those ones.
Yeah.
We use heavily to promote our events and news and what's coming up, and to support other local initiatives. So, it's a very good community within Horsham for local aspects. So we like each other, we share, we do all that sort of thing. We retweet on Twitter. So heavily do that, and we find that is where we get a lot of our support from. One of our group actually fortunately, is a bit of a social media guru. She really does know how to get the most out of it. We know how to boost posts to maximise the way they're seen. But equally, in terms of admin and running our group, we use Messenger, and it can range from 10-word little things, reminders, just thought of this, can anyone do that? We can put out minutes, we can put out action plans on it, and it's quick, it's snappy, it's there. We try to avoid pages and pages of emails, because once you start typing an email, it's difficult to stop. When you're limited to what you can actually put, you have to actually be concise.
Oh, that's interesting, because I mean we don't use Messenger at all,
or WhatsApp or anything like that. We're just kind of Facebook and Twitter.
Facebook and
Instagram.
Twitter, yeah, and then emails. Everybody copied in.
Well, see, with Messenger, everyone's copied in, which is great, because there's nothing, you've really got to be open about everything you're doing. Everyone's got to be involved. There's nothing that's going to annoy somebody if they didn't know it was happening. And the good thing about Messenger is everybody's involved, and you can see who's seen it. So your distribution, you know it's gone to everybody, so there's no possible way that anyone could be left off. So and then when they've read it, their face comes up, so you know they've read it. You know, even so if someone hasn't replied, you can see, they haven't seen it yet.
Yes, not assuming they've got it and they've been...
Absolutely.
So does that mean everybody, Steve, you probably know this better than I do, that everybody's got to actually sign up to Messenger?
If you've got a Facebook account, you're pretty much signed in into Messenger nowadays.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? You've got to have a Facebook account.
Yes.
I don't know if you do. You can have Messenger without actually using a Facebook account. Yeah. I mean, you might have to start it. You don't actually have to use it, but you'll get the Messenger side of it.
You create a Facebook account, but you don't then actually use that account.
So it's getting the other half of our club signed up to Facebook in the first place, which is. I mean, you probably don't have that problem, but we do.
No, well, the original group are very good. We have a Facebook page for the club, and a lot of them do, but. It is, particularly for some of the older members, it is an alien form of communication that they are not a party to. They just don't get it. You can't help that. You can't help that.
No. Okay. I think we'll move on from that one, shall we? Okay, well that's terrific. Yeah. Now, Rotary clubs get involved in lots of charitable activities locally and all around the world, in fact. What kind of projects have you been involved with over the last sort of 12 months as a group?
As Link, we have... our first event was a slot car racing competition. Horsham, over Easter, has something called Piazza Italia, which you might have heard about. It's a bit of a car festival and Italian food festival. We were kindly lent a shop in the town centre, and we set up a large scale X-Trix track and ran competitions. So for a pounder race, you come along and you do your set number of laps, and whoever can do the number of laps in the quickest time goes on to a leaderboard. We ran that for 3 days, had somewhere over 1,000 people doing it, and the shop was full all the time. Had great fun, lots of kids doing it, 4 racing at a time. Brilliant bit of fun. We had the Great Horsham Bake Off as part of Sparks in the Park, which is another council-led activity, but the Rotary Club are heavily into. We have a large charity market there. We have a special needs. This is a Link run, but original group.
Sure.
So we pulled it out of the original group because it fits with us. But it's a special needs fun day. So the travelling fun fair set up, and they give us the sole use of their fun fair for kids with special needs for 2 hours on the Sunday morning, completely free. So we write to all the special needs families that we know and through various other agencies and say, would you like to come along? They come along, we give them a wristband, and away they go. And they have the sole use of that fun fair, all the rides on it.
What a great idea.
For 2 hours. So if they need extra time to get into the rides, they've got...
Get out, get on, there's no panic, no rush.
Yeah. So there's that. And then alongside that, we had a cake baking competition that this year was judged by our local MP, amongst others. So that was popular as well. We had a good number of cakes of that.
Smashing.
And who kind of, come up with these ideas? Do you kind of sit down one day and say, let's brainstorm, or is it social media, you're on the train, you think, this is what I need to do?
It's absolutely it. Messenger. So someone might be sitting on the train reading the newspaper and go, yeah, I really like Bake Off. We should have a bake. Oh, yes. Bing, out it goes. Gets a few likes. Yeah, or no, don't be silly. But yeah, it's as simple as that. And then we go and do it. And that's exactly how our latest and if I be so immodest as say our greatest project, which was our Spectre James Bond gala showing. That's how that came about, and that was a.
So we're going to talk that in a minute, Ben.
It's great to hear that another side of Rotary, isn't it? The younger side of Rotary, if I may say that, where things are done and put together in a complete different format. I'm able to see it from our club, and what you're saying. Wow, what a great thing, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah. We'll be back. We're just going to take a break. Welcome back. You're listening to Rotary on the Radio here on 107 Meridian FM with Steve and Anthony, and we have Ben with us from Horsham in the studio here today. Now, Ben, it's on the list here. We just touched on it just before. Was that big event that you had at a cinema? Tell us about it.
So, yes, this was our big event. We'd been toying with the idea of a cinema night, so maybe something as an outdoor cinema or a drive-in. It wasn't really happening. We couldn't get the figures to work. And then all of a sudden, Spectre was everywhere. The whole hype of the James Bond. Wow, it'd be great if we could do our own black tie gala event. So I wrote to Sony and said, can we hold a premiere? And they said, no.
Surprise, surprise.
They said, you can't. We're doing it. So what they did say was that we weren't the only ones that had asked for a charity night, and they were going to grant some regional gala charity screenings, and we would be one of them. The local theatre, the Capitol in Horsham, were kind enough to allow us to use their theatre for the night. So we had a 300-seater theatre, of which we sold gala tickets to, which incorporated a champagne reception and canapes and black tie. We had lounge singers. We had guys from the local bar, the Dead Parrot. They came along and produced a special Spectre cocktail, which we were able to sell. We had a grand raffle, winner takes all, James Bond style, to win a diamond. And we had searchlights that had a 6-mile range, and we had to warn the Civil Aviation Authority and Gatwick Airport. And they said, yeah, you can have them, but don't shine them at any planes. So we went along that lines, flaming torches and red carpet, and we sold out virtually.
Wow, that's great. So, I mean, yes, you made it a complete event. Everybody supported it, sold out. Presumably, it was a fundraising. How much did you make on it?
£2,500.
£2,500. That's great. It's great, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Yeah, cool.
Especially bringing all those different elements into it to make it even a bigger one, because you could have easily gone, right, we'll just screen the movie, turn up, dressed up, go home. But you've brought, the searchlights, the cocktail, dime, all that, it adds, speciality to the event, doesn't it?
Well, we had to give it a cachet. We had to make it James Bond.
Yeah.
We were selling the tickets at £25. You could go the next day and buy the same ticket to the same film for a tenner. So we had to make it special. We had to give it some kind of cachet and make people want to part with 2.5 times the face value. So
right,
and that's where we were. And people from the local community got involved, and we had a virtual sellout of the tickets, and the local businesses, they all came together to help and donate some time and donate this and that. It was very good.
Yeah. So it says in the notes here, you had a red. Do you have a red carpet?
We do now.
Excellent.
Good. I mean, did you have anybody to walk on it?
Well, everybody in Horsham's a celebrity, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But,
Smart. Yes. All right. Okay.
Nicely done.
So that was great, and that's a good way of doing it. Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic actually that you got the cooperation of Sony and I mean, it may be slightly easier, I would imagine, with the local theatre, perhaps, but to get a big corporation like Sony to give you the backing on that, or the okay anyway. Because did they have any involvement with it at all, or did they just give you a license or a right?
Well, they said you go for it. They were very helpful.
Yeah,
they sent a whole raft of do's and don'ts.
Yeah,
but
sure.
when it came to bits and pieces, set dressing and posters and artwork, well, they were great. They got behind it, gave us everything we needed.
Great.
But I mean, yes, they obviously saw the fact that this was going to be a popular thing, and obviously other people had asked for it. So rather than just say a blanket no, they embraced it,
encouraged and embraced it. Yeah. I suppose it's promoting
great.
their film and it's promoting their brand, so it's a win-win for you and them, isn't it? You can't.
Okay, let's move on. How are we doing for time? No, we're doing okay. So you had that sort of. You put this on. You made a lot of money out of it. That's absolutely great. And didn't have any local celebrities apart from the people of Horsham, as you quite rightly say are. And you filled all the seats up, which is obviously terrific. Now that must have taken a bit of organising. How many of you were you all involved in that, and how long did it take to sort of put together?
Well, we were all involved in it, and everybody had something to do with it, whether that was rigging up lights or sticking down red carpet, blowing up balloons, filling the goodie bags, you name it, someone had something to do with it. And we didn't actually have very much time to organise it. From the point of thinking about it to getting the permission, by the time Sony gave us the permission, we had 1 month. So we pulled it together in 1 month, which is pretty good going.
That is terrific, yeah.
And of course, we still have to go through Rotary regulations. So we still had to put the proposal to council and get that approved. And
that probably took 3 weeks and 6 days.
Well, the beauty of Horsham Rotary Club is it can get its act together when it needs to. So council got together, did a quick impromptu and gave the thumbs up, and we cracked on with it.
So does that mean that all your events have to be approved by the council?
It's one club, and as such, it all has to be vetted. It's a charity, so we can't be too gung-ho about using charity money for what is essentially business proposals that stand a chance of losing money. Mm-hmm. We have to make sure that the risk is weighed up. But I suppose such a big thing with so many variables, you don't know. And this is your first event you've done like that. I suppose down the line you'll be like, we've done it. We know what to do. Yes, we will make money. Well, you see, if you look at our proposal and then you look at our wrap-up document and you see where our income streams were and are, they're not the same. And neither are the costs. The elements where we thought we wouldn't get cost, there are, and other ones were cheaper. It's a valuable exercise to go through and where did that all go to? Where did that come from? Because it's not as we thought. You thought
you were not going to lose or not spend as much you spent, and you thought you're not going to recuperate so much. We did very well with raffle sales on the night, which we didn't actually factor into. We didn't do very good, probably because of the time, but we didn't do very well with we wanted to do a programme and get some local companies to take an ad in the programme. Didn't do that at all. That didn't go down to, but that's probably because of the time. We just couldn't get it together. So these things where you think you're going to, and where you actually do, are
Very, very interesting.
So the net at the end of the event. I mean, did you really make what you thought?
Oh
you
yeah,
did?
yeah. I mean, it was quite incredible.
I mean,
actually, it did balance exactly. It was, but it was just not where we thought it was coming
from.
from.
All the bits and pieces in between, but they all come out right in the end.
That's it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Did you? Were you going to donate that to a specific charity, or was that just going into the club charity account?
Well, the link side of the Rotary, although we are one club, we are kind of aimed towards youth and younger people. So we've got a couple of existing schemes that this will go towards. One is called ROVER, which stands for Rotary Overseas Volunteer Assistance. Mm-hmm. If you are a young person and you're going to go on an expedition or some other trip that has a element of social work into it, so you might go to Sumatra and do some drainage work. You might go to Africa and build a school.
Yes.
If you've got to raise money to get you there, we will fund to a point and we'll provide you with a mentor to help you get the money together. So that will take some of the money we've raised. We have a school breakfast club scheme where we start breakfast clubs in schools, so some of the money will go towards that. And we are looking with the council to install special needs play equipment. So we would like, there's been a recent addition into a local playground of a wheelchair swing, which has provided very popular. We would like to look towards a roundabout. It being Rotary,
yes,
will look quite good. So a Rotary roundabout. So that's the sort of thing. So predominantly youth and younger people is where the link looked to.
Yeah. Do you find that, I mean, we're always interested because, I mean, one or two of us have been thinking along the same lines here at East Grinstead, but do you find, I'm not going to use the term conflict because that's the wrong word, but do you find that there's sometimes you might, like particularly on events and charities and where you're going, that you may be going a bit head to head with the main club on what you want to do and perhaps what they want to do, or doesn't that really happen?
We haven't seen that. I mean,
that's good.
Horsham has got some very set annual events,
sure,
which everybody's happy to do. And then we're quite innovative. I believe you had one of us on, John, back in the summer when we had the elephants.
Yeah.
So that's a sort of a new thing that we do every other year. So the whole point of one club is that if there is something that doesn't sit well with the club as a whole, that it gets talked about.
Yeah.
And that's the point of it. We've got to aim to be one club with one message, and that is to do good in the local community and farther afield.
That's great. Okay, we'll take another short break there, Ben, and be back in just a few moments.
107 Meridian FM. Live local, love local.
Welcome back to Rotary on the Radio. A little early there, perhaps, and here on 107 Meridian FM, and we have Ben from Horsham Rotary with us here today. Welcome, Ben. Now, we've been talking about your big sort of film event that happened quite recently, and you made a lot of money to it. Now, would you do that again, or?
Yes.
If you could get away with it, yeah.
You've got to preserve the cachet of it. But if it was a big event, a big film out, I think we'd do it again. And the feedback we've had from the people that came, they really enjoyed it, and they'd come again too. So yes, it's got to be a good film.
Why not? You've got the captive audience who want to come back again.
Absolutely.
You know the format. You know how it's done.
We do. Yeah.
Makes it a bit more easier. Yeah.
That's great. So, well, we look forward to hearing that you're doing another one soon.
Yes.
And then we can come along and see how you do it. But if you do, best of luck. That sounds like a fantastic idea. I haven't heard of any Rotary clubs doing it. I mean, either in our district or in this country. I'm sure somebody has somewhere, but I mean, nothing's ever completely new. But yeah, brilliant. Okay. So that's the big event. When did that occur, actually? It must have been quite recently.
It was, yes, back end of October.
End of October. So what's the next big project then?
Wow, we've got a few things in the pipeline for 2016. Nothing is secured yet, but we are actively seeking a rather large masquerade ball. So we're looking to do that perhaps October time next year. When started negotiating some costs with people for that. So we're just developing the idea at the moment.
Yeah.
A few other bits and pieces. We've got our usual Rotary things to take care of as well. We help out with the standard Rotary fair that we put on. So we've got our Easter bunny hunts and pancake races and summer activities. But it's finding a few bits and pieces in between those that will boost our profile and the coffers.
So what does Horsham Rotary do as far as at Christmas? I know we have a lights on ceremony and we sort of haul a tree and music and about a dozen collectors around all the streets, not only East Grinstead but the adjoining villages, Lingfield, Ashurst and Forest Row. I mean, what do you do anything of that sort of nature?
We do, yeah. We do the similar to you. We have a trailer with a Santa and some loud carols, and we do. I think there's about 10 days worth of traipsing the streets and collecting, which is always very good. We have a couple of nice town centre collection days, today being one of them, so the guys are out there shaking the buckets now.
Carfax,
Carfax and Sainsbury's, very kind, they give us, and Newbridge Nurseries, they've given us 2 Saturdays as well, which was a first this year, but they proved fruitful.
Yeah, that's good, because we couldn't do Sainsbury's this year, no doubt for operational reasons, but we had a big one at Haskins, which is our fairly local, we've got garden centres around, but it's a very big one just on the outskirts of East Grinstead, Good. That was good. Right. So you've I expect you're all exhausted from a month's work doing that film, let alone get onto another one in sort of February or something. But so you got now thinking about the club. What have you got out of belonging to the club? What motivates you to join it, and what sort of motivates you to
keep going
with it
with all these events?
Well, I don't know. There's always something in somebody that you think, I'd like to raise money for charity, do something in the community. The beauty of Rotary is a bit of both. So you're not just raising money; you're helping do something with other groups. Mm. So last week we had the Young Enterprise market. We put it underneath our tents. We put up the tents and we sort of, put a bit of cover over that, and it becomes a slight Rotary event. We did something in the summer with a group called Horsham, who are leading the charge in new technology and sort of interactive computer work and coding. Very important, massively popular with young kids. But they're a new group, so they look to have some governance, which we supplied. We were able to get them some space, and we badged it as Rotary, so they were covered under our insurance, and these sort of things. It's helping other groups get started and get on their way. But equally, there's a great bunch of chaps, and I've got some great friends out of this. Really good friends. Without Rotary, I would never have met. Wonderful, sort of. We've had some great days out, particularly with the Link group. The way that we meet involves family, involves meeting at a time where the members bring their husbands, wives and kids along. So you have this sort of whole, it's new generation.
A bigger family.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's lovely. One of our first meetings was Becky, who chairs the group. She's married to a farmer. And we met at her place and had a farm walk, and there was a load of kids that came with it. We went up into the woods and then came back for tea and cakes, and all the while we were talking about what we were doing and how we were going to do things. But in the greatest, most relaxed atmosphere you could imagine. It's wonderform.
Instead of sitting around a table all formal at an exact time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's. I was glad to hear that you said you've made some good friends out of it, because I've been in Rotary more years than I had to admit, but we've made a lot of friends over the years. Yes, people come and go because people move and so on and so forth. But we've had some great friends out of it, which I think is one of the appeals of this club. And if you do have to move, you can then, I won't say you can automatically drop into another club, but in practice it is a bit like that anywhere in the world that you go. But Rotary Club, which is terrific, and you make 10, 20, 30 friends initially to start off with and get you in.
Absolutely. Our latest member, Gemma, she, English girl who went to live in New Zealand, joined Rotary in New Zealand, has come back to England, and first thing she did was look for another Rotary club because of the friends that she made, and she enjoyed it so much. And she luckily came to us.
Good. Now, do you think this is the model that's really ought to be developed in other towns as well? And do you think it's going to appeal to younger people? I know you've got a dozen people there, but do you think... what are your feelings on it?
I hope so. I think there's still plenty of room for the traditional Rotary. The ethos of Rotary is fantastic, and it appeals to newly retired people with time on their hands looking for something else to do. That, it really does appeal. The traditional Rotary is still there. But we mustn't stop at that demographic. We've got to look to younger, other forms, and maybe bridging the gap from Interact and Rotaract and that sort of thing to something that keeps their interest going. And where people tend to drop out is because of time, jobs, travelling, children, all these sort of things. If we can make a club that's flexible enough to incorporate people's outside life, then why should it not be a model that we should be looking at and improving? I'm not saying that Link is the be-all and end-all. There's a very good group, Maidenhead Bridge, that have a very similar ethos, slightly different. But all these, you've got to sort of work at it and tailor something and make a club. If we're fixed, we'll die.
So would you say that your kind of way of thinking or your kind of way of running bridges the gap between the road track and the traditional Rotary? So we are not losing them straight after school or university. We are picking them to run right through their lives until their retirement, and should they then wish, they can obviously carry on with the traditional Rotary, if that's the right word to use.
Absolutely. But then, the traditional Rotary also appeals to, younger people. But if we can say, look, we've got all this going on, you don't
various
have to
routes
come
you can
every Thursday. You don't have to come every Thursday. It doesn't matter. We'll work it around each other, and it's just relaxed and it's nice. Why not? Why can't we not do that?
How does that appeal to you, Steve? Because you're in their age group, aren't you?
Yes, I am indeed.
And how would that... I mean, you've heard what Ben's been saying. How do you feel about that compared to... Well, I'm going to talk about our... relative to our club.
I think it's a great idea if I could do that, because obviously I have social media on my phone, and if I don't have to come every Wednesday, then yes, it's good. But then, I suppose, on the flip side, I plan my day or week or month accordingly, thinking, right, this is the club I belong to, and that's how they work, and I come in. But then again, I'm more privileged, I guess, because the East Grinstead Meridian Rotary doesn't implement the say, you only come once a month this month, here's a red mark. No, you let me, as a club, come in when I can, and no one looks down at me if I can't help out on all the events. So it works for me. So I guess, there are good and bad on both formats. It's just, I suppose, finding the right format for each club is probably the way forward.
Which is, I think, how the Horsham Club are looking. It's one club, multiple lifestyles.
Yes.
So you belong to a club, and you've got the option to do whatever you want within that club.
That's terrific. And if you can, we mould our club to the members, and I'm sure what it is now. Our club's been going since late 80s. I can't remember the exact number now. 30 years, maybe slightly under. And I'm sure although we got still a lot of founder members, inevitably people it was mainly people in their sort of late 30s and 40s when it was set up, and they're now whatever the arithmetic says they are. and I'm sure it's different now to what it was then, when it was first started, and it sort of gradually changes as the membership changes. Yeah, that's great. So if we wanted to set one up in East Grinstead, how would we do it? What do you think? Were you in from the beginning of the...
No, I wasn't.
You came in later.
So, I came in probably after about 12, 18 months. And actually, I went on the website, Horsham Rotary website, and had a look round. I didn't really know what Rotary was until I did that. And I noticed that they had, quite a good description of what they do, and then they had this younger section. I thought, well, maybe I'm not old enough yet. Maybe this does appeal.
So, let me put you on the spot. If there wasn't that younger section there, would you have still kind of
yes.
run with it?
Yeah, no, I would have still been interested enough to have had a look if there wasn't a younger section.
Yeah, because you do say you attend quite a lot of the main clubs. Are they evening?
Yes.
Yeah, to dinner meetings. Yeah. If they run it in that particular way.
Sorry, but I interrupted you.
Yeah,
so
no,
you
looked
at the younger one, and you clicked out, read it, thought,
yeah, this looks great. Let's give it a go. So I contacted, as it was the treasurer at the time, John Levosniak, and he goes, "Come along, have a look, see what you think," and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrific. What about your fellow members? Do you think they would have not have joined if it wasn't for the young link group?
I think they joined Rotary and then saw the link group and thought that suits me, and so they came along to look at Rotary.
Yeah.
Having seen, because we've got quite a big presence in town, so people do come along to the events. They do come and they do see it in the paper, and people do approach you. They come along to a Thursday and they go, "Well, okay, yeah, this isn't bad." And they say, "But I'm 30. What have you got for me that's that sort of age range?" Oh, and then I realise it's every Thursday. Now I can't do every Thursday. Oh, well, actually, we've got this. Have a look. Yeah, that's it. That's for me.
You didn't quite ask the question on how we would start it. we diverted a bit quickly because we're actually coming up to news in a few minutes' time.
Okay.
We're coming to an end now.
I suppose you're going to have to find someone that's going to want to promote it, and that's the big thing.
Yeah.
a core member.
Someone like you.
Yeah.
You're the demographic.
Right.
You're the type of person who's not afraid to get out and say, "How about this? Let's start this." And you need a few. You need a few like-minded people who can then put the word out, and then it just grows organically.
Anthony, stop looking at me.
That is going to work very well because he's our Convoc chairman this year, and we just voted him in as presidential nominee to take over next July. So he's going to be president in about 2 or 3 years' time. So that could actually, as a programme, as a project for you, as for
a future project.
Over as part of your rise up through the presidential area, so you have it all up and running to hand over whoever takes over after you in about 3 or 4 years' time. That'd be,
wow.
Yeah, I think I can see a good roadmap for you there, Stephen. So, I won't be talking to me too often. That would be terrific. Thanks, Ben, for coming in. That really is good, and a lot of useful information, and we'll try and get this discussion out to the rest of Rotary, I think.
We will indeed, and please, if you do a lot of great work, if you do have anything, please drop us an email. We'll promote it as much as we can, and good luck to your fellow members.
Thank you very much.
You do such a great job, and long may you run successfully, raise lots of money, and keep that smile on your face.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Rotary on the radio. Listen to us every Saturday, 12 noon until 3 o'clock. Rotary, we're for communities.